Hello everyone and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles Long, and with me as always is my co-host, editor, producer, and friend, Jacob Gloth. How are you doing today, Jacob?
Alright, getting through it. You've got a pretty weird pitch, from what I understand today.
PRV. Did I stutter? No. PRV instead of VRP, PRV. Punk rock vampires. That's what I'm talking about today. What do you think?
I thought Dolphin Highschool was like the peak of weirdom or strangeness that we could get to. And it might still be, because I haven't heard this pitch yet. But I think that this is a challenger for that title.
Yeah, PRV, Punk Rock Vampires. So basically for this pitch I have 4 characters. Gabriel, Raphael, Michael, and either Rodney or Derek.
Wow, I love these names. Like 3 archangels and then Derek or Rod.
Derek or Rodney.
Poor guy. All right, so
Derek?
What's their things? What are they?
So Gabriel is the lead vocalist and songwriter. He's 123 years old. He also plays bass, but he's mostly the vocalist.
And he's a vampire. I'm guessing they're all vampires.
These are all vampires who are in a punk rock band called Punk Rock Vampires.
Also the name of the show.
He's philosophical and easygoing.
As
the leader of a punk band.
Are his lyrics very philosophical? Yes. Okay. Any other character traits? Is he I don't know, is he crazy? Is he calm?
Yeah. There's other characters.
Okay.
There's other people here. But the, kind of Sid Vicious, Henry Rollins of the crew is Raphael. And he's he's the angry one, he's the lead guitarist and backup vocalist.
Okay, alright, yeah, I got you.
He's 150 years old, and he's excited to get into fistfights, and he likes drinking.
He fights a lot, alright. 150?
He fights, yeah.
So he's older, but he's still pretty aggressive, okay.
Yeah, but he's, not that much older. The drummer, Michael, is 183, and he's a mute.
He's mute?
He just likes to play the drums.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. That's do we want Rodney or Derek?
Rodney or Derek? I kind of like Rodney. I feel like that one's a bit more strange as opposed to Derek. Going for joking with the third name or the fourth name.
Yeah. These 3 guys, Raphael, Michael, and Gabriel, all wanted to start a band together. And they were like, okay, let's start a band. How do we, get people to not pay attention to us as vampires while we're just playing at clubs at night? And their idea was, well, let's just pretend we're vampires.
Nice.
People could have a gimmick.
That's their gimmick. Okay, so it's like
their gimmick
Daft
is
Punk,
R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. You think their whole thing is that they're vampires, the punk rock vampires, and they just and I'm thinking this takes place slightly in the not so distant future.
So 2025 or 2030.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So there's a synthesized blood by now. So they don't, vampire culture has come a long way, but it's still in the shadow of mankind.
I gotcha.
So there's synthesized blood, and that's what they drink. Unless, Raphael doesn't. He drinks people.
Oh, that's pretty fucked up.
Well, they're punk rock vampires. They're not... he's gonna kill people. Or at least drink some of their blood. I don't think you have to kill them or turn them into a vampire to drink some blood. Yeah, exactly. You just get some blood.
Is this like a thing where they need to drink to like survive, or do they drink just to like have powers or something?
I think this is less of a supernatural vampire and more of like if a vampire was a biological thing, like something that happened to you. So it's like you can't go out in the sunlight, you have a craving for blood, and your pain receptors are dulled, and you like have more adrenaline, and like you can do more stuff, like that sort of thing. And like a different species of humanoid rather than like a curse.
All right.
So I think that would.
So you can't become a vampire when you get bitten. It's like a mutant thing.
Yeah, you have to like, if you want to become a vampire, it's a whole involved process in which you have to like share blood and like there's a whole thing. Or maybe it can be transferred to via sex.
So it's a disease.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that one. I like it being like a blood disease. So if you like somehow get mixed with the blood of a vampire, you get it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's why you should always wear a condom, kids.
Kid works probably. Singular.
Kid. Hey, kid. Wear a condom, please. It's good for the environment. And
you won't become a vampire.
And you won't become a vampire.
Can we come up with like
and
a really
kids,
like because we got we got AIDS and we have like gonorrhea and stuff like that, where those are like names that just sound awful for the disease that you get. What's like the awful name for like the vampiric disease? You start with a V because we got vampiric.
Vampiric.
VBE, vampiric blood entanglement.
Oh, we can't use entanglement. Attachment.
VBA.
TBA. No. What
VBI.
does it like?
Maybe
give me a word
VBI because it's vampiric blood infection.
Infection. Yeah.
All right, so they got VBI.
And there is a way to cure it.
Yeah, but it's really expensive. That's why they're a punk rock band. They're trying to get enough money so they can cure themselves.
Exactly. So I feel like a punk rock band does not see the sunlight very often.
So it'd probably work out.
And these three guys, Raphael, Michael, and Gabriel. No, these three guys decided, well, we don't really have that many roots in modern day technology. We need somebody who can help. So they get a guy, Rodney.
Oh my God. So he's not a vampire.
And they turn him into a vampire. So, like I said, Raphael, Michael, and then Gabriel are all 100 plus. Michael, the mute drummer, is 183, by the way.
Oh, so he's much older.
If I told you that. Yeah. Rodney is 38.
Nice.
He's the roadie. He's the tech guy. He doesn't really understand the whole thing. He's naive. He's inexperienced. He's really into the music. He's like, we could become a band, man. It'll be great. Maybe he's trying to get signed
by like a label. Yeah,
maybe.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so outside every thing, he's just got a table trying with a thing, like a little stand. He's like, this is how we make the money. Merchandise.
Yeah, maybe he's handing out records or t-shirts or something.
Mm-hmm. And they are in a town. I would imagine that this show takes place in one town.
Oh, really? Okay.
Or maybe a few towns, but in a county. And these guys show up, the punk rock vampires. They show up in a van. Maybe they have a ghoul. Should they have a ghoul?
No. I don't know.
Why not?
Is a ghoul like a slave? Because I don't like that, man.
It's like a servant.
Yeah, that's just like extra steps between slavery.
It just, but these guys aren't good people. They're vampires.
Maybe we can make it like a ghoul that just like, you know how Mr. Meeseeks and Rick and Morty is like, they're beings that just want to die. They'll serve you, but then they want to die, right? Let's make the ghoul a being that just wants to die, but has to like fill out his service to them, which is like maybe like 70 years or something.
I was going to say, why don't we make the ghoul like an Alfred? Like he's sworn his life to this blood to one of these, to Raphael's bloodline.
Okay, so he's like Dobby, so definitely a slave.
No, like he's like, I swear to protect everyone of this bloodline. Raphael's the last of his bloodline, so
if he dies, I'm out.
Yeah.
Maybe he can be like subtly trying to kill him, like indirect ways.
I was thinking more Alfred.
So
I was thinking he's more wholesome.
Okay. All right, I like that.
Like he's and he's human, and he's like kind of an old man.
Okay.
Maybe. It's like, yeah, I was a roadie for
the Beatles. Kiss.
I was a roadie for Hendrix, man. Like maybe he's been in the music business before.
Okay.
Yeah. I imagine he'd be played by Tommy Chong.
Don't know who that is. But doesn't matter. So just keep going.
Yeah. And so I think that they'd like show up in town one day and be like, hey man, we talked about a gig on the phone. And they'd be like, who are you? And they'd be like, PRV, man. And they'd be like, what? What are you talking about? Is that like an affection? And I'm like, no, we're the band. We're the punk rock vampires. And they're like, oh, you get the teeth and everything. Oh, that's nice. All right, yeah, you're gonna be on at 8. And then they just like drive around back, and they get on. They go on. They have like a great show. It's rad. Maybe we'll do covers. Maybe we'll do original. It depends. We'll have to find something. But I think covers, because the band wouldn't be secondary to the show. You know?
Yeah, gotcha.
Like covers of punk rock classics. And they'd rock it out. And they'd like, all right, we're gonna stay here for a little while. And whatchamacallit, what's his name? Rodney. I don't know why, but I laugh every time I say Rodney.
It's because it's a silly name amongst the others.
It's a great name. But Rodney is like, yeah, I sold a ton of t-shirts last night, and one girl showed me her tits. It was great. And like, it's all of these other guys have kind of come to the realization that being a vampire kind of sucks.
Yeah, but he still likes it because he's young. Okay.
Yeah. So like, that's why they're in the band. At least Gabriel, he's like, I have nothing to do, so I just want to tell everyone to go fuck themselves with my songs.
Yeah.
You know? And Raphael is like, I'm angry all the time, might as well.
Yeah.
You know? And I like drugs and alcohol too. I mean, everybody does. And I think Michael is, I think, a teetotaler also. Do you think he should be?
Maybe. I guess he's mute, so he... Yeah, I guess. Because, I mean, alcohol, I guess, would that even affect vampires?
I don't
really know how... I mean, I guess you're making up how these vampires work, so does it even work on them?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say they can eat regular human food, and they, can drink, alcohol and get drunk and smoke weed and get
So the
high
deaf
and,
guy also
snort
can't get
coke.
drunk. Really just making his life awful, aren't you?
The mute guy?
Yeah, no, yeah.
He can get drunk.
He's not deaf, he can hear.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, I'm thinking about Michael being maybe he's not a vampire, maybe he's secretly something else.
Oh, he's
And that would
actually
be a surprise.
a werewolf, and then they're gonna fight over a girl whose name's Bella. And
I was gonna
the other
say
guy
he's
in
secretly
the Raphael's name is actually Edward, and this guy's name's actually Jacob.
I was gonna say he's secretly the Archangel Michael,
Oh, okay.
and that like if he opens his mouth, like just a sickening black void is what you see and like hear, and it's just like and sucking in, and it'd be like he can't communicate with humans because he's terrifying. So he's just like this mute drummer guy. He's got all these tattoos and you know.
He's bored because like Judgment Day is not gonna happen for like a long ass time, and he's like, I just gotta wait, you know. So I guess I'll be a drummer.
Mm-hmm. We'll be a drummer. It seems cool, but he's always tasty in a fight. Rodney, I think, is like how we get into the show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so we start off with
he's-
Rodney just like a normal job, maybe, right? Is that what you're thinking? And then he gets taken by them.
No, I don't think we see Rodney before, because I don't want to I don't want people to be thinking about like Rodney's family that miss him. I think we just see Rodney, and he's asking a lot of questions at the beginning. But he's obviously been with them for a couple of weeks, but this is the first gig they've played or something. So he's, curious, and he sets up the tech, and he's, working the microphones, and Michael's got his drum kit, and he pulls it out, or, they have one there, maybe. Gabriel brings his lyrics and his bass, and Raphael brings his guitar and his anger. He's like the crowd get him excited guy,
I gotcha. What are they like? What is he angry about? Like, what's his driving force in the lyrics? What are they upset about? Are they mad at capitalism? Are they mad at existence? Are they mad about the weather?
They might be mad about the weather.
All the songs are like about how much they hate rain.
Well, what do you think punk rock vampires would be mad about?
What do I think punk rock vampires would be mad about? Probably existence. They just want to die. They're probably really suicidal.
But you can die.
What do you mean? They can die?
Yeah. I mean, they could die if they wanted to. They could
Off themselves?
stab themselves.
Well, then maybe it's about.
Maybe they're looking for something.
Maybe it's about not knowing the point of life. They're searching for the meaning of life. Or is that too wholesome?
That may be a little too wholesome, but at the same time, I like it. I like wholesomeness. I think maybe Raphael and Gabriel are the central relationship of this show, and they're trying to become more peaceful people. But Raphael is full of anger and hatred because he's been done wrong by the whole world. All his life, he survived the camps. He survived the concentration camps, he survived wars, he survived all sorts of stuff. Like, he's Eastern European and he's just mad. Whereas Gabriel, maybe he's a bit more laid back and optimistic of the world.
Okay, yeah, I like that. So what's Rodney's driving force though? Does he just want to have fun, or has he got something? Rodney's
just excited that this is his new life. And he's just like, hey, I get to try all these new things. And maybe they show him he has a few, he's stronger, he's faster, maybe. He's got a few powers because he's a vampire, and that's rad.
Is there a plot, or is it just this premise and that's it?
I don't have much of a plot. I have Sheriff Tilworth is going to be the main antagonist of the series.
Sheriff Tilworth? What is he?
Sheriff Tilworth. He's the small town sheriff who, like, figures out, oh, these guys are actually vampires. And then he goes and tells people, the punk rock vampires are vampires.
Like, yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know. Duh. And he, like, gets in his head, like, oh, I'm gonna get these fuckers. They've made everyone's wearing their merch in this small Wisconsin town. Everyone loves them. They love live music. They love the punk rock vampires. Maybe. But maybe there's only been actually one show. And then the second show they can really fuck it up. I think that
another
would be good
villain could be like the local mothers committee who doesn't want their children
that would
to
be good.
Influence.
Do you think that this should be like a show taking place in like the 80s?
I think a 90s, early 90s would be good. Or late 80s.
Yeah.
Because I don't really see the benefit of having it being like in the late or like mid 2000s.
You're right.
Because then you got like futuristic stuff that you got to write. But if you just do 90s and 80s, then it sort of fits the thing more. And punk rock I feel like fits that era a bit more.
I think you're right. I always go to the future.
I know. You're a little future head. All right, so we got the vampires, right? And they're gonna be vampiring it up. We got these. We got Rodney, who's a newly anointed vampire. We got the sheriff, who's threatening to take out the vampires because he knows they're vampires. Maybe a committee of mothers who's upset and want to stop them as well. But what's sort of like the day-to-day of the show? Is it just like they try to play gigs and the sheriff tries to get them? Is it sort of like a Roadrunner Coyote relationship where like he's trying to get them and they don't really care? Or is it more like interactive between the two?
I think it's like, dude, somebody found a pound of weed. Do you want to smoke it? And then the whole gang smokes the pound of weed. And just as they get caught by Sheriff Tilworth, and they're like, alright, we're hauling you off. I don't know, maybe a dog eats the bag of weed.
Oh my god, it's probably gonna kill the dog. Oh, I guess it wouldn't kill the dog, but the dog's gonna be really high.
No, the dog wouldn't get high.
He was eating the weed.
Yeah. He just swallowed the bag.
It's probably bad.
And it's like, alright, well, it is bad for the dog. But he'll be fine. Maybe he's a magic dog.
Okay, magic dogs now. Tossing that in the 45th minute of this podcast.
Yeah, I'm hoping you can cut this down to a tight 15.
Alright. Send us out.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I have been your host, Charles Long. With me as always has been my co-host, my editor, my producer, Jake.
I thought you forgot my name for a second. And that long pause. I was like, shit, he doesn't know my name.
It's also written right here.
Oh yeah,
Zoom.
That's right. No wait, what Zoom are you talking about? 'Cause we're in a room together. Remember?
Oh yeah, no. What they've done is they've strapped us both back to back on a pole, and I've just got mirrors facing you.
Yeah, and you wrote my name on the mirror.
So I've got.
But you wrote it backwards, which is weird. I know you thought that like if you write it backwards, it would make sense on the mirror, but that doesn't work if you actually write it physically on the mirror. That's not how that. That's not how that works.
Hey, just don't make fun of me. I'm sorry. I was using my teeth because we're tied back to back.
It's still dumb.
Yeah, you're right. You can find the podcast at VRP Podcast on Twitter as well. Thank you, and tell all of your friends and your loved ones and the monster lives under your bed. Tell them I said hi.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.